Okay, let's begin. So, I think that we should do two things. One is I personally would like to point out certain things that we learned from the seminar, a kind of a little take home messages. I would like all my esteemed colleagues to add to this. I'll just give the framework and they can, add their things. I made a little summary that could help us all in our practice. Okay? So what I did, and then there are some questions that we will also take. So what I made a summary was about, methods and techniques. What are the methods and techniques that we saw our teachers use in this seminar? Because all the information that you are receiving and we are all receiving is amazing information, but without methods and techniques, it will not be possible to use this information. Do you agree or not? Yeah. So, I will just enlist the methods that we use in a case. So, we have pathology. We saw, case from our Manish Jagpal where he gave both drops, and a good indication for that was a pathological indication, aphasia after apoplexy. We have symptom approach. You see, so many of us use symptoms from the repertory, characteristics, modalities, and all of these things. And then the clinical approach, I just underlined that with Massimo, how he extracted the information from the clinical cases. And this is very similar to what we saw Dr. Jayesh doing. He took one case of, a particular mollusk, a second case, third case, fourth case. For example, I think it was Mytilus edulis, and how he extracted this information from 3-4 cases. So this is a clinical approach also. We saw with Dr. Mahesh Gandhi, evolution, where is the person in the evolutionary scale? Is he child, is he adult, is he like this, old age, and all of these things. We saw, with Dr. Paresh, we saw kingdom approach. How did we see that, this person belongs to the insect kingdom, there is restlessness, I feel bugged, I feel, all of those things we saw, how he took from the animal to the insect. I doing to somebody else, I am a victim or an aggressor, and what kind of victim or aggressor. So there are themes of the various groups of animals or plants or minerals also. And with Dr. Shekhar, we saw the source approach. And it was, I think, the best example of source, don't you think? I mean, this was a case I would be really afraid he would fly away from that place, And then how he made that sound also, it was amazing, isn't it? So, I mean, sometimes you get, it is not always that you get to this level. And then you can see also, you can use miasmatic approach. So you have so many angles to a given case. These are different windows from which basically you see the same thing. And the synergy of approaches, that means using all of those approaches together to kind of, emphasize one another. But what I want to emphasize here is that every one of us has used more than one approach. Can you see that or not? Even Dr. Shekhar, even though the patient was, literally a bird, but still he goes into the provings and identifies the symptomatology of the provings. This is so important also. So all of us, like Massimo, he has a clinical approach, but he also understands the source. He also understands where the source comes from and what could it mean. You see? So all of these are not watertight compartments. They are all saying the same thing in different languages, in different paradigms, in different ways of looking. So if you use a synergy of approach, your chances of error greatly reduces, because if this remedy is at the center, so it must match with all of these different viewpoints. It cannot be you look from here, it looks like an elephant, and there it looks like a crocodile. Something is wrong here. Do you follow or not? So say yes. Very good. We also learned that it is important to classify the information according to where it belongs. Is this source information? Is it kingdom information? Is it age information? Is it symptom information? We have to understand this. We saw this in the Coccus cacti case, how different information is classified. This is the kingdom, this is the particular symptom. Sadness in the morning on waking is a symptom. Red color is source information. Oi, 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 oi is insect information. He did it to me, kingdom information. Do you follow this or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to put the information in the right context. And sometimes, you mistake a delusion for a sensation. I remember in Mahesh Gandhi's case where there was a mygale, the patient mentioned beetle, isn't it? It looks like a beetle, but he didn't stop. He didn't say, oh, you said beetle, thank you so much, and forget the case, He goes further. So sometimes the delusion and the experience are somewhat different, and we have to be careful about this. And what is important is that every information is important. We cannot neglect anything. And when the remedy comes, everything falls into place. This is the beauty. And now I want to talk a little bit about the techniques we saw that is used in the various cases. The most important is observation. How does the patient look? How does he feel? What does he wear? How does he speak? What is the energy of the case? What is the pace of the case? How did he take an appointment? When he comes in, doctor, I beg you, doctor, it's the last hope I have, please. This is one way. Another one is saying, you better do it to me, otherwise I will kill you. This is another way of saying it also. The observation of the entire energy and the pace of the case. Pure listening. This is the most difficult thing to do. That's why Hahnemann emphasized it, that, without prejudice. I will talk about it little bit once again, because this is the most important thing. Another technique we used was dissociation. That means we took a gesture or a word that was significant to the patient that didn't seem appropriate to the context. I remember Mahesh Gandhi's case where he said, this thing pulls me out of something like this. It was not making any sense in that context. So he took it out and said, forget everything, the context of how you said, when you said, what you said, it's not about you, just this gesture, just this word. And that is the secret door to a parallel reality. You see? So this dissociation is the technique that most of us use almost in all cases all the time. Okay? And the other thing we use is we inquire into all areas. Like, Shekhar's case we saw, he understood this remedy, but he said, tell me about your singing. And the singing went to exactly the same place where the rest went. What is your fear? What is your dream? What is your interests and hobbies? So when you inquire different areas and come to the same thing, you are absolutely sure. This is another story. Another technique we saw was concentration and focus on one thing. And one of the things we focus on is the crisis moment. Jayesh's case, you see, where he said, my father had a heart attack. That was the starting point of my problem. Or somebody else, in the Bothrop's case, he said, my daughter-in-law entered the house, and that was the beginning of my problem. So to put your entire attention on the crisis moment, and what was the experience there, that is the most useful way. Another way is what has the energy in the case at the moment. In my case of Venus Mercenaria, the dream had the energy. So I said, let's put all the attention on that dream and take out the finest essences of it. This is a very, very useful technique. And Jayesh, of course, uses this technique a lot and says, you know, to the patient as soon as he comes, what's happening to you right now? And there he starts focusing, and this is a technique I would suggest all of you go and learn from him. And he teaches in the other song, live cases are there, and he will show you, because this has to be learnt. If you do it without learning, I guarantee you that you will lose 3/4 of your practice in 2 weeks. You try, put all your attention, the patient will disappear. You must know how to do it. Everything has to be learned, dears. Don't have the confidence I can do without learning, or I can do by watching one seminar. Jayesh has spent decades practicing this thing, you know. You think you know singing, but you sing without learning, all the neighbors will disappear, you know. Another technique we learnt is of denial. I remember one case, I don't know who presented, so what are your dreams? He says, I don't dream of snakes. I think it was Manish also. How did she say this? Why did she say that? And incidentally, after the remedy, that's the first dream she got. So when person denies spontaneously, I remember one case, I tell you, Jayesh and me, we were sitting together. It was a very, very tough nut. It was a ship captain, and any question you asked him, he said no. Any fear, no. Any this thing, no. Any cravings, no. Any, no. I'm totally fine. I'm totally calm, totally composed. This, that. What to do? I said, Jayesh, come, please help me. So we both sat with him, and we said, are you sure you're not afraid of anything? He said, no. So what are you, when you say you're not afraid, what do you mean? He said, I can go into the darkest street in the middle of the night, and I'm walking on the street and I hear thuk, 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 thuk sound behind me. I'm not afraid of this at all. It was a Meadowrhinum case. Fear alone in the dark, as if somebody behind him. It was beautiful. We took all the rubrics. Then we asked him, tell us what else you are not afraid of, you know. This denial, spontaneous denial, is a very interesting, important technique. Projection, another technique we saw. We said that anything you see, you know, suppose a person says, I have the maximum problem with my mother-in-law. Describe your mother-in-law exactly and write every symptom of that, and you will get her remedy. Whose remedy? Daughter-in-law's remedy. This is projection. Tell me about this, tell me about anything, and you will get this is very interesting. You know, and hand gestures, you know the importance of hand gestures. And somebody also asked in one case, how will you explain this word to a child? I think Jayesh, you asked in one of those cases here. If a 3-year-old child was to ask you, what is the meaning of, you know, whatever, compression, what would you say? That means you are removing the person from the situation and only the word. This is another way of dissociation. So we use, these are techniques. And where will you learn these techniques? Yes. I just want to introduce you to one more technique which is a bit new. We are doing it for about 1 or 2 years now, and it's very, very useful to us. I want to introduce you. I'm not going to talk about it, but just the idea, you know, because Jayesh in one case, you know, case of Mytilus, one boy was there. He said, I exhausted all my options. Now what shall I ask him? You remember this point or not? So I wanted to suggest at that point, could you try WISE process? What is WISE? WISE is witnessing inner song experience, and what we do is we present a series of pictures to the patient. This is the first picture we present. And we tell the patient, look at this person and imagine what is happening to this person. We don't even say male or female, you know, because many of them said it is male, so we don't bother to. This person, what is happening to this person? What is the situation? What is the movie around? In any space-time context, what is happening and what is the experience? And you'll be so amazed what comes out, and easily. So it has also to be learnt. So I'm just introducing you to this idea. But what is the mother of all techniques? You know, the mother of all techniques is listening without prejudice, to be open, to not be in a hurry to classify or to bracket the remedy, you know. So to look for what is individual and peculiar, to hear what you have not heard before, not to hear what you have heard and classify it. This is the mother of all techniques. This is the most difficult thing to learn. Nothing more. And what we saw here as examples, every case was an example of this. Would you agree or not? I am 100% sure that in every case when the doctor started with the interview and even halfway, he also didn't know where he was going. That is where it should go. Just to gather this. This is the mother of all techniques, and do not ignore what you don't understand. There's a very peculiar dream, you know, the man is hanging from a rope, a train is passing beneath, and one monkey is jumping from the window. This is the dream. And what do you do with this dream? Forget it. I don't know what it is. Forget it. That's where your problem will start. Because that is where the entire case lies. You see? Whereas he says, I love consolation. Very good, my friend, I know this one, you know. So when you stay with what you know and ignore what you don't understand, you are having a problem. And there is no, don't worry if you don't know, ask. Describe this dream a little bit more. What is happening? How it is happening? What is the experience? Just listen. And somewhere or the other, the clues will start to come and things will start to form. You see? This is how we learn. This is our secret. And you may search till you find it, and it may not be in the existing materia medica also sometimes. You may have to search in other places. So teachers are free and not limited by what they know. Do not limit yourself by what the teacher has taught you. You be free also. Explore and open. Then you can find new remedies like what Massimo is doing, or Jayesh or Mahesh Gandhi is doing like that. Now, the mic please. This is what I want. Please, you can add to this. I just given whatever anything you like to add, any hints about this process of, you know, methods, techniques that can help them use this information in a very productive way.
I heard your brain making noise.
I think you have covered everything. Most important is don't follow any system. Be very flexible. Every case is unique by itself. And you have to be completely open. And as he also said that, focus more on things which we don't understand rather than just focusing on what we know. So when you just go with one system, then what happens? You want to use that. It's like you will go in a car and say, I got this screwdriver. Whenever the car breaks down, I'm going to use screwdriver. Sometimes it works, but not always, no? It's better to have a whole kit so you know what to use in what cases. I think flexibility is very, very important. So don't swear by any system. Just be spontaneous, open, and be ready for whatever comes. Sometimes it might be just that you take symptoms. Sometimes you might get a patient like how Dr. Shekhar presented. So what is coming you don't know. So if you have more tools with you, the better it is. It's just sharpening your skills. But not to be prejudiced and be open-minded, I think this is very important.
Also, it's interesting that you see none of the teachers ask leading questions. Did you note that? Tell me, do you like this, do you like that, this, that? No. Only in the end, maybe some confirmations. But most of the questions were, tell me more about this. Tell how does this feel. Can you appreciate what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
Again, most of the things are already covered. Only I want to share like which method to follow. This question comes and many times, sometimes students might get confused whether to follow Shankaran's sensation method or Jayesh's past life experience and deep case taking and healing, or Mahesh Gandhi's evolution, or Dr. Sarkar's method, this. All are same. You develop your own method. Whatever you are comfortable, and be unprejudiced, and most important is understand the patient, what makes you comfortable. No need to copy anything, and be open to all. That will increase your, we say, weapons. And just whole intention is to understand the patient. And as Dr. Shankaran said, if something new comes like monkey, whatever he said, so many things, windows, train, this, that, no need to get confused. Inquire little more, and patient will come back what is the deepest experience there. So if you don't follow anything, just inquire about that. Tell me little more about that. And patient will come back to his real deeper feeling. That's all.
So I will say more or less the same thing, but in a little different way. That as I understand that what is a homeopath trying to do? Basically we are trying to get what are the peculiarities that help us to individualize. This is fundamental. Now, why are we trying to individualize? For a simple reason that every person, including me, you, as Dr. Rajan mentioned in his first lecture, all of us are in some way patterned or programmed. And somehow the same thing keeps happening in our lives again and again. There is a certain pattern. And a homeopath tries to recognize what this pattern is. And how can you recognize the pattern? As he gave example of that building, you can recognize by its peculiarities and the circumstance around the peculiarities. So what you are trying to do is you are trying to map him by his strange peculiarities that you are finding in a case. So if you find a case which is dictatorial, which has got fear of alone, which has got kidney stones, which has got craving for sweet, which has got gases, abdominal gases and distension, then you say this is lycopodium. Are you there? Even if you are prescribing at the level of the symptom, whatever level you are practicing, this is a pattern that you are recognizing as a peculiarity. As we evolve, we devise more finer, nicer, more evolved methodologies to understand the peculiarities. First to elicit the peculiarities and then to understand those peculiarities. So it is very necessary. How do we elicit a peculiarity? Peculiarity will be something which you don't know, something new, something strange. And in every case, I want to reach that part of the case where I get this deep feeling, I don't know, ye kya hai? I don't know this. And when I reach that point in my case taking, that is the best fun for me. I think that's what I'm practicing for. Because in that not knowing, why I don't know? Because it is peculiar. Because I have not seen it before. Because it is strange. Because you cannot understand this. And from there, when you start probing that peculiar, or in your own way investigating that peculiarity, or you facilitate different processes for the peculiarity to come up, sometimes you come up with a source, like beautifully in Dr. Shekhar's case. Sometimes the peculiarity comes in the chief complaint of how I said he had the obsessive disease and how this displacement came as very, very prominent. So the peculiarity can lie in any area, but there are some dots. And when all these dots connect, all the peculiarities, like how in a symptom case, these dots connect when you put in the Grepetree and you get a graph, you're just connecting the dots. But you're essentially collecting all the peculiarities. And I feel the fun of homeopathy for me is evolving the technique, the methods, the processes, the information. How do you elicit what is most peculiar? Believe me, every person who walks in and sits in front of you, you have to trust that he has come to you because you are capable of helping him. Otherwise, he won't come to you. And when he comes and sits, you should know that he has come here to get well. And he is surely likely to express his peculiarities. It is not possible that a human being doesn't express his peculiarities. It's only to hold the space for these peculiarities to emerge. And that quality needs a lot of patience, lot of persistence. You need to sometimes study a patient over a long period of time, how you hold space for him. For me, patients have been coming for 35 years without getting well, really. Still they don't leave me. Sometimes I wonder, why don't you find another doctor? I tell them, doctor ये ठीक नहीं हो रहा है, जो दूसरा कोई अच्छा डॉक्टर ढूंढ लेना भाई. They start laughing. They only come because they feel a hope that this man is making an effort to understand me thoroughly. And that is the hope that gives you chance. Instead of 1 month, he will stay on for 1 or 2 years with you. And then you have chance to work. When you are sincere in eliciting the peculiarity, the patient understands that this man really is taking effort to understand me. And in the process, he also understands himself without your knowing. So essentially, every homeopath who is sitting here already has a deep system in himself, how he works about eliciting the peculiarity and then matching it with whatever remedy that comes up. As you grow, more information will come, more peculiarities will come, then you will need more remedies, and more remedies are coming. So there is so much information that it needs to be systematized. That is why all these systems help, but they help you later. First is how to develop a skill to hold the space for the patient and elicit the peculiarities. And one last thing, also at each step, when you are doing the case, also recognize what are the peculiarities in yourself. Because when you will know कि मैं कैसा पागल हूँ, you will understand सारी दुनिया पागल है. Thank you.
Paresh, brief, huh? Brief. We have questions, so briefly.
Well, in very brief, I have to say most of you have already conveyed good techniques. I would just, only one line I would say is, these cases what you are seeing are cream cases. Probably 10% of patients go to such deep level of source. Not all patients go there. So please don't forget our foundations, our basics, the rubrics, the materia medica, the keynotes. And as Dr. Jayesh said, observe the pattern anywhere and then you will be able to see it at a higher level. That's it.
Very good.
So all is said, nothing more to say. Everything is covered in fact. But
Put it slightly differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
since a few days, from past couple of batches, we have been doing guided case taking with the master's batch. And what has been the most highlighting thing in that is we are not persistent in exploring whatever is being expressed by the person. Quickly, when we do not understand anything, we just jump over to the next area and then the next, and then finally land up, tell me about your nature. And this goes nowhere. So the ideal thing is there has to be a persistence, there has to be that tenacity of going ahead, waiting, exploring. You will definitely reach to the destination. Thank you.
Massimo. Mike.
Okay, 2 mics, mamma mia. Can you hear? Okay. Very shortly, I don't know if you understand how lucky you are. I come from Europe. I teach a lot in the United States. I can tell you that the situation in the rest of the world is dramatic. For us in Italy to arrange a seminar with 30 participants is a miracle, and usually the youngest now are around 45. And if you start homeopathy at this age, you will never become an homeopath, in my opinion. Or you have to think of living 100 years. Because, you know, at the age of 45, when you start, you have a family already, work, and many other things. It's hard, because homeopathy is difficult and takes time to be studied. So having the possibility of living in such a country where you can start so young to attend this kind of schools, these kind of conferences, is not so easy, and I think it's a very, very special gift that you have. All these techniques that correctly Rajan underlined at the end are pointing out to different approaches, to different patients, to different homeopaths, because as we have to respect, I think, the individuality of every single patient, we do have to respect the individuality of every single homeopath, because each one of us is thinking, working, and offering the best of his way of realizing certain kind of things in his own way, and we have to be able to recognize this. I was expecting, when I was a student a few years ago, to see a revolution, because we knew so little. Now we know so much more. Now we have tools like a computer, and see, beyond India, in the rest of the world, it's a drama, believe me. So I keep asking to myself, what can we do to improve it in other countries, not like this? Because surely you will be the future, not the people that now are living in Europe or in the United States. But you know, all those kind of perspectives are just telling you we are different. We see things in a different way. We can be enriched by these kind of things. And situations like this are really a gigantic gift for each one of you. So learn what you can, take the good from each one of us, and try to think that you have to develop your own way of thinking, your own way of studying, your own way of understanding. And because this is a special flower, give water to that, to what is individual for you. Don't try to copy anybody, but develop yourself. I think this is one of the most important issues.